Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream, 7:35 p.m. on mainland Spain, or in mainland Spain, 6:35 p.m. in the Canary Islands, also here in Portugal, the 8th of August. And it's been a huge day today because Spain's number one fugitive has made the return to Catalonia. That's right, Carles Puigdemont has returned, and you would think that he would be currently being interviewed by the police, but it's not the case because, as we can see here, he's gone missing. Straight into the news. Puigdemont returns to Barcelona 7 years later, gives a speech before his faithful, and disappears. The former president of the Generalitat, Carles Puigdemont, reappeared on Thursday in Barcelona outside the parliament and made a brief speech in front of thousands of people, some 3,500 who were waiting to welcome him after almost 7 years outside Spain. Puigdemont's act was surrounded by heavy police surveillance, which did not prevent the former president from disappearing again after his speech. Today I have come here to remind you that we are still here because we have no right to resign, he proclaimed from the lectern on the stage set up in front of Barcelona's Arc de Triomphe. Puigdemont emerged from a block of flats and, surrounded by his party colleagues, advanced unopposed to the lectern. He delivered an inflammatory speech and at the end disappeared into the crowd surrounded by his party faithful, despite the dozens of police deployed in the area. So that's the big news breaking today. Spain's number one fugitive, as I said, has returned to the land of Cava and Pantomaca, but no one knows where he is. Now, you might be asking yourself, how is this possible? How is this possible in a country where the police seem to work reasonably well? Remember, this is not Spain is not a banana republic yet. It is not a South American country where maybe the police are on the take. Don't know. But apparently he had inside help. And as we can see here, people have been arrested. The policeman accused of helping Puigdemont flee after his reappearance in Barcelona has been arrested. The Mossos d'Esquadra, the Catalonian police, have arrested the Catalan police officer accused of helping the former president of the Generalitat, Carles Puigdemont, to flee in a car. The pro-independence leader has spoken at a rally at the Arc de Triomphe in Barcelona after almost 7 years on the run from Spanish justice. Moments later, he managed to slip away from the 4,500 people attending the event. This Wednesday, the ex-president announced through X, formerly Twitter, that he was undertaking his return from exile. So there we go. That's how he escaped, basically, because the police weren't interested in arresting him. The Catalan police, of course. Not sure what happened to other police forces, the National Spanish Police or the Guardia Civil. They were also missing in action. Don't have any powers, I don't think, in Catalonia anymore. So he was basically allowed to arrive at the Catalonian parliament, give a speech in front of 3,500, 4,500 people, if you believe that one, and then slipped away in a car that was waiting for him close by, and nobody was able to detain Mr. Puigdemont. Lack of will, I think, on all fronts. National front, Spanish government's not interested in him being arrested. The Catalonian government not interested, of course. The new leader there, Mr. Illa, and the Catalan police, of course, helping Mr. Puigdemont get away. You would think this is a story that I've made up, but it's not. This is what happened in Spain today, or in Catalonia, I should say, which for a brief period of time will be Spain, but for how long, I've got no idea the way things are going. Next piece of news here, and we can see that UEFA has handed out a one-match ban to Morata and Rodri, two players, for chanting Spanish Gibraltar. Spanish national team players Alvaro Morata and Rodrigo Hernandez have been suspended for one match by UEFA for chanting Spanish Gibraltar during Germany's European Championship victory celebrations in Madrid on July the 15th. Following the operation of disciplinary proceedings, the body's Control, Ethics and Disciplinary Board, the CEBD, has decided to sanction both players for the next UEFA team competition match for violating basic rules of decent conduct, for using sporting events for non-sporting demonstrations, and for bringing the sport of football into disrepute, a UEFA statement said on Tuesday. So a ban, one match ban, being handed down to those two players that, as we can see in the text here, and as we saw at the time on this channel, we're chanting Gibraltar Español, which translates to Gibraltar is Spanish. Basically, not British. Gibraltar is Spanish, which is something that you'll hear from time to time in Spain by people with certain political leanings, let's say. And the final piece of news, and it's this one here, Chiclana de la Frontera in Cádiz is Spain's most expensive holiday destination. A travel website has pointed out that the most expensive place to spend the holiday in Spain is in Cádiz, specifically Chiclana de la Frontera. A hotel occupancy already exceeds 90% with an average price of €368 per night, which is 11.9% more than in the same period last year, even surpassing other European cities such as Paris, Amsterdam and Edinburgh. In fact, there are travellers who claim to have found prices of €500 per night in the city of Cádiz. These are data extracted from a report carried out by the booking platform Booking.com. The study shows that Chiclana de la Frontera is followed in second position by Salou in Catalonia in the province of Tarragona, with an average price of €233 per night. This is followed by Benidorm, believe it or not, with €221 per night, Peñíscola, €214, and Conil de la Frontera, also in Cádiz, with an average price of €211 per night. So there we go, the most expensive place in Spain for an overnight stay during the peak tourism months, the peak months of August and July. Chiclana de la Frontera, €368 per night, believe it or not. And the reason, I imagine, is because it's a very popular destination with people from Spain's capital city, Madrid, heading down to that part of Spain to take advantage of the lovely white sand beaches that they have in the province of Cádiz. So that is why, I imagine, prices are so high in that particular town. But I could be wrong. Now, let's get into some comments. Let's see what's happening there. First comment here from Yannissi. Stu, I have a question about the suggested VPN usage. Does the non-regional internet address allow you to receive programming from other countries as if you live there? Yannissi, thanks for the comment. And my answer to this is yes, you can access content that is geo-blocked in Spain, for example. If you want to watch BBC iPlayer, if you want to watch Netflix USA, if you want to watch other services, you can access them with a VPN. Sometimes you might be blocked if the website works out that you're using a VPN. They can block you, but in my experience, you get around that fairly quickly because you can just connect again with another internet address basically and get around that issue. And I've watched Netflix Australia, Netflix USA, Netflix UK, different programs, of course, on the different websites around the world. The Spanish Netflix doesn't have content that you would get in the US, for example. I've watched Australian television programs through the broadcasters there, Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 10. You can access that. Also, BBC iPlayer. You have to get an account, of course, with the BBC iPlayer, but you can access it with a UK IP address. So the answer, Yannissi, is yes, you can watch content that is geo-blocked in Spain, because obviously there's certain rights involved and things like that. But with a VPN, NordVPN, the one that I use, you can get around that. So thanks for the comment. Another one here from, I think this one here is first. Anthony says, not convinced. British News has been following the story closely. I've seen one short snippet on the news and that was it. I think they have rather more interesting news to be going on with for now, says Anthony. That could be true, Anthony. Lots of things happening in the UK currently, lots of disturbing things happening in the UK. Let's be honest, you don't like to see what's going on there at any time of the day or year, or any country for that matter. Doesn't matter whether it's a European country or an American country. You don't want to see those things happening. People are rioting, people looting, people unhappy with the way the country is going, according to them, of course. extreme views in some cases, in my opinion, and of course being worked up by people on Twitter. And again, the role of social media in the spotlight, being able to get so many people together for what some people would say is not the best thing, rioting and looting, as I said. And I feel sorry for people that have to live in neighbourhoods where this is going on, just trying to go about their day-to-day and have these people outside doing what they're doing. And now you've got other protests there as well, the other side of the scale protesting as well. So yeah, not good what's going on there, but I'm sure that there will be a backlash further down the track, because it did make international press. And even if you read one article, you are aware of what's going on. And I'm sure that people will be reminded of this going forward as well, these anti-tourism protests in Spain that have been taking place throughout the summer months in various parts of the country. Not unique to one part of the country, various parts of the country, from the Canaries to Catalonia to Valencia to Cádiz to Malaga, basically all of those coastal places having this type of protest. One here from Cindy. Canadians are also concerned about the anti-tourist protests in Spain. We know that ourselves and two other parties who had reservations to stay in Spain this winter are considering cancelling. Nobody wants to be confronted by angry protesters in any country. Do they hate winter tourists? Should we be worried? The answer to that, Cindy, to the last question there, do they hate winter tourists? Should we be worried? The answer is no, because like bikinis, these people only pop out in the summer months. You don't see them in the winter months. They're going about their day-to-day. So if you are in Spain during these winter Canadian months, you won't get any issues, I don't think. Maybe in the Canary Islands, depending on the amount of people there, but in Catalonia, you won't get an issue. In the Balearics, you won't get an issue. In other parts of mainland Spain, in the winter months, people go into hibernation. Protesters will go into hibernation, and you shouldn't have an issue, Cindy. So don't cancel the holiday. Your winter break from the Canadian, well, I was going to say extreme winter in that part of the world. So enjoy your holiday, and your friend can enjoy their holiday as well, and you won't have any problems. I can almost 100% guarantee it. Almost. I'll put that in there. Almost, Cindy. So enjoy. And the other thing that you say there is that, yeah, people are concerned all around the world. And you're right, nobody wants to be confronted by angry protesters, whether it be in Spain. But let's be honest, compared to what's happening in the UK, as I said before, the Spanish are not angry compared with what I've seen on the television, where some people are angry. Another one here from user Stuart. Re your question about why didn't the children ring the bell on the bus and get off at the next stop. Are you serious? Answer to your question, why? Because they were only aged 3 and 5, also suggesting that the two very young children get off in an area that they weren't familiar with is, in my opinion, really irresponsible. Obviously, the people that were at fault were the parents, not the very young, vulnerable kids. You normally talk a lot of sense, but not on this occasion. Thanks, user, and user's real name is Sean. I saw from his YouTube page. And basically, Sean, with what I said yesterday, it was clearly a joke. Some people picked up on the fact that it was a joke. Some people didn't pick up on the fact, you, for example, that I was not being serious when I suggested that two kids aged 3 and 5 ring the bell on the bus and get off at the next stop. And anybody who thought I was being serious really needs to take a look at themselves and realize and ask yourself why you haven't got a sense of humor to realize that would be a joke. Because how would they do it? How would they do it, Sean? How would they how would they know where they are? How would they know what a bell system is on a bus? Please. But anyway, that's what I have to put up with in the comment section. Another one here from Paul's, same line. Stu, the kids are aged 3 and 5. I doubt they are familiar with the operation of buses. Yeah, Paul, again, if you don't realise that it's a joke, my friend, then what can I say? Nothing. MotoGP, Stu, has many Spanish riders. It can be unpredictable. It can be an unpredictable competition. That is true. That is true. MotoGP can have a lot of Spanish riders because the competition is run by a Spanish company. And I'm not going to say that they have pushed it in favour of Spanish riders, but some people could argue that that is the case. But there are a lot of juniors, for example, in the inferior races. For example, I think that there's is it a 50cc, then a 250, and then a 500cc. So there are a lot of Spanish riders, but again, as I said, the competition is run by a Spanish company called Dorna, I think is the name. Unless they've sold it recently, but I don't think so, Paul. But just going back, what I said about the kids on the bus, it was a joke. It was a joke. One here from Andres. Milei is right as usual, and terms like ultra-right wing are just no sense or nonsense, I think Andres means to say. Your opinion, Andres there. Milei is right. Milei is right about Spain being ruined by what he said yesterday. I think he used the word communists. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Just because a group of radicals paint somebody's wall doesn't mean that there's anything else going on, Andres. Okay? So Milei, in your opinion, is right. In my opinion, he is wrong, as usual. But again, that's just my opinion. And the final one here from Jonathan. Rumour has it that Javier Milei will visit Argentina soon. Clearly, that's a joke. It's a joke. I say it's a joke. Jonathan wrote it as a joke. So people don't get upset, but it is a joke. Rumour has it that Javier Milei will visit Argentina soon because obviously he spends more time out of Argentina than in Argentina with various things that he's doing around the world. For example, in Spain, where he was recently, he had no reason to be in Spain, but he decided to come to Spain and stir things up because that's what we're dealing with Mr. Milei. But some people like his politics. And, of course, everybody's entitled to like and follow whoever they like. Whoever they like. So do whatever you want. But please, Andres, please. Just my opinion, of course, Andres. Now, going into the comment section now, or the chat section in just a moment. Before I do that, I'm going to put the like icon on the screen. So if you can hit that like icon, please. There it is there also. Hit that like icon, please, and we'll see if we can get up to a decent tally of likes today. Also, to people that have supported the channel in recent times, super thanks option on YouTube. I've just seen a super chat come through from Marcus, so I'll get to that in a moment. Buying me a coffee. Harry bought me a coffee again today. Thanks, Harry, for that. Harry from Edinburgh, who's also in the chat section I have seen. Longer-term supporters on Patreon. Thank you very much for that support. And also the channel members on this YouTube channel who help me put out these videos on an almost daily basis. Almost daily basis. I'm not going to say daily basis because sometimes I don't put a video out, but I try to. And thank you very much for that support because it's what helps keep the channel going. Also, to people that haven't subscribed, you can do that also down below. You can subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and also turn on notifications. And you can also follow me on other platforms, for example, Instagram, where I'm putting out different content now also. So follow me on Instagram and Twitter and things like that. You'll find me on there as well. And also, if you've got anything to send my way, for example, Erica and Jen kept me up to speed on what was happening with Puigdemont today with the articles and videos that they sent through. So thanks for that. spainspeaks@gmail.com is the email address should you have something to send my way. And again, thanks to those two people, Jen and Erica, for keeping me up to date with Mr. Puigdemont's movements, or at least the 5 minutes that he was seen in Barcelona this morning before he disappeared into a van and was swept off to who knows where. Mr. Puigdemont doing Spain's version of Harry Houdini this morning. Now, into the chat, as I said, Bifana on Marcus. Thank you very much for that, Marcus. I enjoyed my bifana the other day. In fact, I enjoyed it very much. I'm a fan of the bifana, one of the best sandwiches that I've had, not only here in Portugal, but also in Spain, because unlike a lot of Spanish sandwiches or rolls, as we call them in Australia, it wasn't dry. In Spain, a lot of the rolls or sandwiches tend to be the dry version, a piece of bread with no butter or anything like that on it, no oil, just a little bit of ham inside, or chorizo or cheese, and tends to be a little bit dry, in my opinion, the bocadillos in Spain. And one thing that, in my opinion, again, just my opinion, the Spanish haven't seemed to have mastered yet a decent sandwich or a decent roll. But again, just putting it out there. Andrew's in the chat as well. Good evening, Stuart, and all. Hope you are well from a wet London southeast. So raining there. Good weather seems to have been short. Maybe you'll get a little bit more of summer, considering it's only the 8th of August. And maybe the wet weather will put people off from rioting and looting and breaking windows and threatening people that are just trying to improve their lives. Fred coming in here from the city of Montreal, Canada, 25 degrees Celsius there, enjoying the show as always. Good to see you, Fred. Good to see you in the chat, coming in from such a long way away, Montreal in Canada. Erica, who sent me that news today, taking into account he isn't a president for the moment. The elections in Catalonia put Junts as the third party in Catalonia. There we go. And Erica, coming in from Muggy Terrassa, don't really want to talk about that person. Puigdemont, of course. Heard what Junts had to say about the poor president being threatened by the rest of the world, revolting. But as Erica just pointed out a minute ago, Mr. Puigdemont's no longer president of Catalonia. He seems to like to keep the title, though, because he considers that he is still the legitimate president of that autonomous community. I'll repeat that, autonomous community of Spain. But for the rest of us, people have moved on, except for him and his 3,500 supporters today. John saying Puigdemont has snuck in, apparently. That is true. You would think someone would have been watching for his move. Yeah, but again, central government, Sanchez, doesn't want anything to do with this. The Spanish Home Ministry or Interior Ministry obviously had orders out there to make sure that he wasn't touched. And the Catalonian police, well, we can see whose allegiance they side with. So, yeah, he's probably at the moment sitting in a bar somewhere, having a drink and just watching what's going on outside, and people, not doing anything at all. So, yeah, interesting. But you would think that somebody would have tried to have got him today. But, yeah, Catalonian police said that they tried, but again, can you believe it? Good evening from a wet and dull Basingstoke, sunny, so raining there also. Mike saying they seek him here, they seek him there, absolutely. The whole Puigdemont Catalan situation is turning into a farce. It's been a farce for the last 7 years, in my opinion, Andrew, and it's made Spain look ridiculous for the last 7 years that this can even happen. I personally think that nobody should be sent into exile for their political condition or their political motives, or for whatever they have to do. You have to try and work these things out democratically if you can. But Mr. Puigdemont has almost made me change my mind on that, because he is, for lack of a better word, well, I'm not going to say it on the channel because I don't want people to criticize me for my use of language, but you can get an idea, right? And yeah, Spain has been made to look ridiculous. The whole justice system has been put in the spotlight, this whole amnesty thing, what went on even before that with the referendum in the first place back in 2017, the way that the then government handled it by sending in the security forces and basically, going in with an iron fist didn't work. And Mr. Puigdemont has made this central Spanish government, basically ridiculed them for the last 7 years, I would say. And it goes on. Harry coming in from Edinburgh. We saw Harry, I mentioned Harry before, bought me a coffee today. Thank you very much for that, Harry. I will take advantage of that tomorrow when I head down to the local coffee shop for my coffee. Thank you. Jose Antonio coming in as well from the Royal City, where I imagine it's been a hot August so far. I imagine so, because Madrid has been scorching, I believe. Marianne coming in from San Diego, grateful for ceiling fans there, but it's only 23, so not that hot. Richard coming in from a rainy North York, so raining up in the north of England as well today. Some other people involved in the riots are already in prison. It has been fast-tracked to show an example. Yeah, I saw that the new Prime Minister there, Mr. Starmer, has changed the laws or whatever in order to fast-track the prison process, the judicial system for these people that are doing what they're doing. They're breaking public infrastructure and basically just being violent thugs. Let's be honest. Violent thuggery going on at the moment in the UK with a certain group of people who, as I said, have been stirred up by social media and one platform in particular. Wow, one platform in particular. Marianne coming in from, we saw Marianne. Thanks, Major News today. I know Marianne can count on us to fill us in. Thank you very much for that, Marianne. That is true. We've got the news out. And if there's any breaking news, we'll see it tomorrow. You never know. Mr. Puigdemont could be arrested in the next 12 hours or so. I doubt it, but he could be arrested. As I said, I don't think there's any interest to arrest Mr. Puigdemont. They want to try and keep it as low a profile as they can, even though he wants the spotlight. So, he popped up this morning, gave a speech, and then nipped off pretty quickly. So we'll see if he pops up again and if he does try to take the chance. Puigdemont's 10-minute fast had already been agreed upon and prepared. There was even a stage in journalists, so there we go. I didn't know whether the stage was set up by them or whether it was there for another reason, Jose Antonio, but thanks for pointing that one out. So it was all prepared. It's all been prepared by the central government. They've given him the carte blanche to come back. Of course, we'll find out about this in probably after the summer when Pedro Sanchez reappears from his Lanzarote holidays, or he's forced to give his version of events. And then, of course, the country will be up in arms for 5 minutes, and then everything will settle down again, and probably we'll have Pedro Sanchez for the next 10 years. What else we got going on here? What an absolute clown. That was the word that I wanted to use, Alex, but I refrained. Utter embarrassment to the Spanish judicial and political system. I audibly laughed when I read the news. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying, Alex. It does, mate, but that's the way the country's heading. You can see that the power is slowly being taken away from the centre. The justice system has been basically dismantled in a lot of the cases with this amnesty, more dismantled as far as Puigdemont is concerned and all of those things. So you ask yourself the question, why did all this happen in the first place? That's the question, right? Maui says, hoping all is well. Thanks, Maui, for that. High Flyer John coming in, evening all. back in San Diego. Nice day there. 25 where Al is, 23 where Marianne is, so maybe Marianne's closer to the coast, don't know. What else? Bronny coming in from a muggy South Wales, currently 17 degrees Celsius, but warmer sunny weather is forecast for the weekend. Best wishes, thanks for that. Amanda's in the chat as well. Alex says, I just expected he wouldn't show up. But to not only, I expected he just wouldn't show up, but to not only to show up with all those cops near him and then flee in front of them all feels like a Monty Python sketch. Well, they were all on board, obviously, as Jose Antonio pointed out. As Jose Antonio pointed out, Alex, it was all prearranged. The stage was set up. He had his flat, or somebody lent a flat to him, which was set up by his lawyer. He just sort of popped out 10 meters away from the stage, went up, van was waiting, into the van, driven away. The cops knew exactly what was going on, but no interest to catch Mr. Puigdemont, as I said, not only in Catalonia, but also from the central government. What else? Let's have a look. Slippery as an eel, that man. Yeah, but again, nobody wants to catch him, Mark, I don't think. Thanks for that. Stephen coming in from the UK, rainy Gatwick, on his way back to Alicante is Stephen. I think Torrevieja is where Stephen heads to. Hope all goes well with that, Stephen. It's not too hot for you there. Let's have a look. Rodri needs a rest, according to Mark, with his one match ban. And Morata as well, I think, also the other player that was banned. Let's have a look. Will he gain support among Catalan supporters with his escapes? Don't know, Brian. Time will tell. Apparently, from what I've read and what Erica, who's in Catalonia, has been saying, that support for this whole Junts party has declined over the last few years. And Mr. Puigdemont could only get 3,500 people together today. So, you would think that sounds like a lot, but at the end of the day, there's probably Instagrammers and TikTokers who could get 25,000 people together, and Mr. Puigdemont only gets 3.5. So that puts it into perspective. Silao used to be a cheap place for Brits in the 80s. Yeah, I'm not sure about Silao. I think it is still one of those cheaper end resorts, I think. Not sure. All the attention goes to Benidorm nowadays, of course. Alex, again here, it's unbelievable how the Spanish people let that criminal flee. Hell, he was known to be in Belgium. Why weren't they prosecuted? And nothing was done to bring him back. They did try and bring him back on various occasions, Alex, but the different European countries' justice systems didn't allow it to happen. He was given the right to stay in Belgium by the justice system there. He was caught in Germany. The German judge let him go. I think he was also caught in Italy. An Italian judge let him go as well. Don't quote me on that one. I know the German and the Belgium one. France, he was able to move around without any problems at all. So it put into question the Spanish justice system from day one, basically, on what type of laws were here or in Spain, and what type of laws were in other European countries. The judges didn't see things the same way. That's the issue, right? St. Pete to Madrid, Dave coming in. All is well in the oven, known as Madrid. Yeah, no relief from the heat there, Dave, right? No relief from the heat. What else we got going on here? Brian says, Stuart, be careful advocating piracy. I'm just talking about a VPN, Brian. I'm not advocating piracy. What else we got going on here? We're not actually downloading anything and just watching it from a foreign country. I mean, it's not really piracy. I think piracy would be downloading and then selling it on, right? What else we got going on? Let's have a look. Dave's been enjoying the Olympic Games coverage for the past 2 weeks. Very different experience than watching in the States. Vamos España. Yeah, well, if you were waiting to say Vamos España or Vamos España, you'd be waiting a long time, because the gold medals haven't been coming for the Spanish this year. Have had a very poor Olympics from that perspective. A few bronzes they've been able to pick up, maybe a few chances they've still got left, but it's been a fairly bleak games for the Spanish so far, I will say, or at least that's been the impression that I've had watching it with my son and partner, who haven't had much to be happy about with the Olympics, let's be honest. Harry Sandoy, you've been watching the Sullivans, Stu. You have to be a certain age to remember it. I think it was one of the first imports to British TV. Well, I think when the Sullivans were first on, Harry, I was about 7 or 8, I think, back in the 1970s. It was one of those shows that was talking about the Second World War and families going off to the Second World War and how it destroyed the Sullivan family in particular. I think one of the sons died in the war, so it was one of those dramas back in the day. But thanks, Harry, for that walk down memory lane. What else? Barbara's here saying, Hola, Stu, from a hot and humid Playa Flamenca, 32 degrees there. It is warm. Shangyan coming in from Shanghai. Good to see you, Shangyan, a valued member, of course. Osawakit coming in from Oregon, 34 degrees Celsius there. Hoping everyone is doing well. Charlie Santa Maria coming in from Rota, Cádiz, buen tiempo en Rota. Probably one of the expensive places that we saw. Cádiz, right up there when it comes to prices, Charlie. Right up there. Most expensive part of the country for a hotel. Chiclana, I think we saw, was it? Got 30 bus tram trips for €13 today in Alicante. Great value. Thanks for that, Mark. Yeah, it sounds okay. 30 trips for €13. I think in Madrid, if you get a monthly ticket, you can go, I think, anywhere on public transport for around 40 or 50 euros, I think. So there are some deals to be had. What else we got going on here? Alex saying that Mr. Puigdemont should represent Spain at the next track and field event at the Olympics. That could be a good idea. Might get a medal. Todd coming in from 37-degree Texas. Very, very hot. The latest news from John's was the number one fugitive disappeared because he could be arrested. What is happening is that the Spanish justice system is so slow that nothing gets done. That could be one reason, Erica, but I think there's just a lack of will, basically. I think there's a lack of will to arrest Mr. Puigdemont, but again, that's just what I think. 42 degrees in Villarreal, that is hot. Jen, who sent me that information before, as I mentioned, coming in from Valencia. Maura coming in from Jerez, also down there in Cádiz. I explained it already, Amanda. You can just go back and watch the review. But basically, he came to Barcelona, gave a speech, and then fled. And now, currently, nobody knows where he is. That's basically where we're at. But who knows? The Scarlet Puigdemont. That sums it up well as well. The Scarlet Puigdemont. Puigdemont tried to bring thousands of Catalans in Catalonia Nord, but didn't go. Could only master around 2,000 to 3,000 people. So there we go. He's lost a lot of popularity, and as you would expect. Juan just checked the subscription and realized that he was unsubscribed. Yeah, easy to just click the subscribe button. It's a metric on YouTube. Not the most important metric, of course. A lot of people think that subscribers are important. You know, they all say, a lot of YouTubers say, oh, I've got 100,000 subscribers or 150. But it all depends how many people watch your videos and for how long. That is the key, not how many subscribers you have. Because as we know, you can buy subscribers if you want to. Todd saying the political history of Spain is interesting. I better study it before I dare opine on what is happening. In the meantime, I listen. Very interesting, Todd, is the political situation. Very difficult to understand. You could probably get a PhD in Spanish political history and still not understand what's going on. Then you get a job on television in Spain as one of these tertulianos and just express what you think's going on. Nobody will understand what you're saying, and then people will go out into the street and repeat what you've just said, even if they've understood it or not. And basically, that sums up politics in Spain. Now, on that note, I'm going to wrap the video up, the live stream up. It's been a pleasure as always. I'll be back again tomorrow with some more regular content, so hope to see you then. We hit the 100 mark with the likes. This new thing that I've got here must have worked. There we go. So thanks for hitting the like button and also the subscribe button. As Juan said, if you're not subscribed, please do so. It's been a pleasure. Hasta luego. Hasta entonces. We'll see if Mr. Puigdemont is found in the next 12 hours or so. If I were a betting man, I'd put money on the no bet. But you never know. You never know. Hasta luego. Hasta entonces. Adiós. Bye-bye.